Hello, my name is Vilcata, and this is Mechabellum. Today we are reviewing a replay. You can see at the bottom that I just saved the replay. This fight just happened. I actually was recording it originally and did not realize that my microphone was not turned on. So we're having to watch the replay. This is going to be a unique video, not only because it's not one where I end up winning, but it's because the purpose of it is what not to do. You just don't do this. So let's not worry about what we're doing. Let's look about what our teammate is doing. So our teammate, I got a free specialist, a free marksman. Got himself some fangs and steel balls. We're in a team match, right? This is not a compact map, it's a regular one. You know, typically you might wait an area a little bit or spread out. What you don't do, we don't ever do, basically in any mode, ever do, is pile all of your units in one spot. I don't care if it's in the corner, I don't care if it's in the front, I don't care where it is, you don't put everything on one spot. Now, granted, there are strategies for front loading or side loading, which is fine and they're valid. But you don't clump everything together. This says to your opponent, if there's ever any kind of off-screen bombardment, you take it and you just nuke this area, either literally or figuratively, and not necessarily nukes. And that's just your strategy going forward because everything's in one spot. So we're gonna watch a little bit of our teammate, a little bit of ours. Now we have a fairly rough start, and we know that we're gonna have a rough start because our unit comp was just not good against theirs, and that's okay. We started with Mustangs and Marksmen, and we took Crawlers and put them on the corners to kind of distract the Stormcallers. Unfortunately, our opponent also put Crawlers on the corners, which ultimately led to our loss, but that's fine. So we lose round one pretty good, so let's just jump to round two. So we skipped any card for this round, and this is something I like to do if I'm not a supply specialist, because that extra 50 bucks you get for skipping puts round two at 450 credits to start with, or supplies. That 50 can be used to unlock a tier 2 unit and then get 2 of them. And Stormcallers are a great counter to Stormcallers. So that's what we're going with here. Let's look at what our teammate's doing. Also, while we wait on our teammate to put in his units, our opponent is doing off-screen on both corners, or flanking on both corners. I have no idea what our teammate did, if he did anything at all. So these Crawlers in the back do get through because our Mustangs went forward. I mean, it's an easy counter, so I'm not mad about it. Unfortunately, they do distract our ranged units so that we're not countering their Stormcallers. Now, our teammate did win that round against his opponent, which, loading a side will often do because you can punch through a side, take a tower, and then use the tower debuff to snowball a victory. We don't typically want to leave one side completely bare And you definitely don't want to clump everything in one convenient nukeable circle. Let's go ahead and jump to the end of round 2. Our opponent took Strike Specialist. He already has shown that he likes to attack from the flank. We skip. Just want the extra money. We have no interest in flanking, so we can pass up that card and just prepare for more flanking from him. Like I said, flanking crawlers are super easy to counter, especially when you already have Mustangs unlocked. And we're going to throw our extra money to a little bit of upgrade and get both of our upgraded abilities. He's upgraded his crawlers. Fortunately, again, we have Mustangs. And our teammate is piling more stuff in the same spot. Our marksman takes a sentry missile. A little unfortunate there. But our Mustangs clear up the corners just fine and come forward to support the army. So we win our side. And our teammate is going to win his side as well. Senior Defense Specialist, it's hard to ever pass that up. And we won that side pretty well, enough to get ourselves some level ups. And we're going to pick up the splash damage with the high explosive ammo, because our opponent has all these little spam units, and if we can clear them faster, then we can get on their range units. Also, our opponent has picked up anti-air for reasons. Maybe he's afraid of our teammates' one Phoenix. As you can see, our teammate is still piling everything in one corner. There's nothing over here. Getting back on our side, we very quickly clean up the corners. High explosive ammo is very good against all those spam units. Our opponent has brought the first giant on the field, Fortress, and he's given it the super heavy armor upgrade, which serves it well. And unfortunately, it is enough to tank its way through all of our offense. Our teammate, having everything in one place, is getting decimated by Stormcallers. We're going to pick up Giant Hunter immediately because we just assume that the opponent's going to bring in more giants. Even though we did not successfully take out the giant he had, we have a plan for that. So our opponent took the barrier because he's going to go more giant. We, however, are going to focus on our marksman because single target, high damage. Very good for countering giants. Plus, marksmen are cheap. A lot cheaper than a melting point. Unsurprisingly, our opponent has brought a fortress in. He's given him shielding upon shielding. Our strategy here is to get to a situation where we can focus fire on the fortress with our marksman, because we already have pretty good chaff clear. Let's look at what our teammate's doing. Oh, look. All units in one place is attracting off-screen bombardments. In this case, it is smoke. If you're going to do this, at least put shields up. Let's look at our side. We got to get our marksman on this fortress as early as possible. We lost our marksman in the middle, but he was never really doing much. I mean, he was still level 1 at this point. But we have 3 marksmen locked onto the fortress, which is really what we're aiming for. No pun intended. And that was $50 return. That one goes down to our leveled up Stormcallers. Didn't even need the marksman support. Now it's just Stormcaller on Stormcaller violence. And unsurprisingly, our teammate lost pretty hard. So we're debating charged ammo, and we actually have our panel hidden in the game because we're looking to see whether or not our opponent has anything worth using the charged ammo on. They do not. So we're going to pick up the acid. Our opponent's bringing in a couple of rhinos. He's going to drop them over here because he is strike specialist. We're trying to get our acid out here to where it's not going to be covered by the fortress. And we're going to defend against potential acid. Now, I wouldn't be using acid against our team either, because we have so much range, but you never know. You gotta prepare. So we're going to go quick fire with our marksman because, again, we want to get the chaff clear as fast as possible. Also, you know, the damage lost from going quick reload is not less than what you gain from the enhanced speed. So it's still a gain in damage. So once we get on the fortress, we're still getting a net gain of damage. And here come the rhinos. Fortunately, we are already set up for attacking single targets. They go down fast. Look how much more quickly this fortress is going down. And we are walking through our own acid, unfortunately. But that's alright. And our teammate, of course, decimated under all of his stuff being in one place and off-screen attacks being called in on him. Fortunately, we are carrying enough at this point that we don't need our partner to survive. We win round 6. Now, unfortunately, round 7 is going to be our final round, and it shouldn't be. Predictably, our partner's opponent is taking an off-screen attack. Now, I'm making the assumption that our opponent is going to nuke. I already know he has shielding, so I'm not going to waste my money on a nuke. So we're just going to cover the most likely nuke targets. Our teammate has finally learned to put a shield down. Of course, all of his units are now living in acid. And unsurprisingly, a nuke is going to come on his head. Because, of course, he put everything on one place. And I would expect these Stormcallers to bring down the shielding before the nuke lands. So we're going to revisit that side around the time the nuke should land. See, our opponent is bringing down more fortress on the side. We have reinforced with marksmen because that's our strategy for countering his giants. This nuke's going to do nothing. Kind of watching here over in the corner. We're going to slow it down as time for the nuke. Let's pause, take a look at what's going on over here. His first shield has already dropped. And basically everything's decimated. On our side, all of our units are still just fine. They don't care. Just don't care. And our teammate is massacred. This guy is super MVP. Everything gets wiped out. But we have this quick reload, so we don't care about the little chaff getting in the way. We outrange everything. So we clean up our opponent. And look at this massive army bearing down on our lone marksman. Anyone want to pause right now and go to the comment section and guess what's going to happen here? This is why I have quick reload on my marksman rather than the double shot. Now, unfortunately, here is where my teammate quits out of the game. He doesn't even propose a surrender, he just quits. So there is no content after this. The replay doesn't know that a player has exited, and it's just going to sit here. This was winnable. In fact, we probably would have won entirely. I've gained control of my side, and countering, ongoing what our opponent continues to do, without a major change in his strategy, we're just going to continue to increase our marksman, and it's going to handle everything he can throw at us and everything that the opponents on the other side can throw at us. But we will never find that out because our teammate did this. Never do this. So, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing because there will be more of it in the future. And consider leaving a like on your way out. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, you may want to check out one of these other videos. And thank you very much for your time.